defense, could you move your easel when you're not using it, please? Thank you.
Disconnected. It can take 2 seconds.
I'll leave that to you. It just doesn't need to be in the middle of the well of the court on a new witness. Thank you.
If you
Welcome.
may, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Bryson Miller, B-R-Y-S-O-N-M-I-L-L-E-R.
Where are you currently employed?
I'm employed with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, or the GBI, also known as the State's Crime Lab.
How long have you been employed there? And if you don't mind pulling your microphone toward you and speaking into the microphone, that would be great.
Yeah, sorry. I've been employed for a little over 4 years now.
What's your role?
I am a forensic serologist.
Forensic serologist. What does a forensic serologist do?
As a serologist, I screen items of evidence for bodily fluids, specifically blood, semen, and saliva.
Can you describe what kind of education and training that you received to become a forensic serologist?
Yes, I have a Bachelor's of Science in Biology from the University of Georgia. And since starting at GBI, I received intensive in-house training that involved the review of lectures, PowerPoints, and literature reviews that I was then tested on. I had written exams, oral exams, and practical exams to simulate casework, all of this to ensure my competency.
I'd like to talk to you about your role in this case. How did you get involved?
When a case is submitted to GBI, a request is open, and depending on what that request is, it can be assigned to me. If it's what we call a blood request or a saliva or semen exam, it will be assigned to me.
What were you requested to do in this case?
For this case, I received a blood request on 2 swabs.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's already been tendered as states 196 and 197. Can I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. I believe that they are already open.
Okay.
Are these the swabs that you received?
Can I refer to my notes?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Yes, so GBI item 17, I can recognize by my initials and date of the date I tested them. They also have the unique GBI case number, and the same thing for 18. Yep, so my initials and date, I know you can't see, but, and the unique case number is how I'm able to identify them.
Okay. I can take them back.
Okay, thank you.
So, do you know what the swabs, what was swabbed with those swabs?
Of course, I wasn't there when the swabs were collected, but when they come in, they're labeled on the box, and they were labeled as, GBI item 17 was labeled as being collected from a firearm magazine, and GBI item 18 was labeled as being collected from a holster.
Did you receive any firearms in this case to be tested?
I believe that some firearms were submitted, but they were not associated with the blood request, so I did not do any testing on any direct firearms.
Okay, so you receive a sample, in this case swabs. What's your first step when you receive a specimen or a swab to be tested?
Yes, so for a blood exam, the first thing that I'll do is I will open the item and look over the swabs, specifically for any reddish-brown stains that could be characteristic of blood. If I locate those stains, I will then complete our chemical examination, which is 2 chemical color change tests that I complete at the same time by taking small cuttings of the swabs and then adding chemicals to those cuttings. And a color change will occur immediately to indicate the presence of blood. If no color change occurs, that item is considered negative, or it fails to reveal the presence of blood.
Okay, so you said 2 color change tests. What are the names of those tests?
One test is the tetramethylbenzidine test, or the TMB test. The other is the phenolphthalein, or the PHE test.
Do they both test for the same thing? For blood?
Yeah, they are screening tests for the presence of, we use them as a screening test for the presence of blood, correct? It's important to note that these tests are presumptive tests, though, which just simply means that they have false positives or other substances that can give a positive result. Specifically for the PHE test, those false positives are nickel, copper, fresh flour, fresh horseradish, sorry. And for the TMB is rust, mustard, garlic, potassium cyanide, and tomato. Now, the important note here is that blood is the only known substance that these two tests share, which is why we do both of them, to greatly reduce the risk that a positive result we obtain is a false positive.
Okay, so if you have a presumptive positive for blood, do you then test for whose blood the sample belongs to?
I personally do not. So in instances when an item screens positive, if it is eligible, it can move forward to DNA testing, where they will test to see who the blood belongs to.
So here you had two sets of swabs, one from a holster, one from a magazine. Did you run both of those tests on both sets of swabs?
Yes, as part of the blood exam, I completed it. I completed the blood exam on both swabs.
Okay, so with regard to the swabs for the magazine, what did you conclude?
The swabs from the magazine, or GBI item 17, failed to reveal the presence of blood or were negative.
And what about the holster?
The swabs from the holster indicated the presence of blood or were positive.
Okay, no further questions.
Defense.
No objection.
I'm finished questioning him.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
You may be excused. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
State calls Martin Gravely.